Eye News at 6.
Eagle Eye TV has done a great job.
And welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6.
We are just having a great time here in Auburn, Alabama. The party is not over yet.
Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Good evening, and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Jillian Byers.
And I'm Hazelrig. Thank you for joining us.
The Auburn University Board of Trustees approved the purchase of an acre of land in downtown Auburn at the recent meeting. Thatch cleaners and other surrounding buildings are located on this land that sits across the street from the Collegiate Hotel. In the last year, the Auburn community has seen significant growth. Auburn residents continue to see new developments coming up every day. The $7.3 million sale intends to create a bigger presence downtown for the university. Purchased from the Auburn United Methodist Church, the property at the corner of Thatch Avenue and Gay Street expands Auburn's campus towards Cambridge Residence Hall and the Rain Culinary Science Center.
Also in the Board of Trustees meetings, members approved construction of a new building in Orange Beach, Alabama. This building will be used to research coastal environments on the Gulf Coast. In an additional item on the agenda, Comer Hall was approved to undergo a full renovation, which includes a new roof and elevator.
While there are no immediate plans for new construction on the newly purchased downtown land, the move allows the university to continue expanding the campus footprint as needed.
The weeks leading up to finals can be a stressful time for students. Eagle Eye's Bowman Ivester asked Auburn students how they navigate finals weeks mentally and academically.
Finals are just around the corner, and we here at Eagle Eye know that it can be a stressful time for students. We went around campus to ask students how they are mentally preparing and studying for their finals.
Yeah, for sure. So I'd say just like hanging out with my friends a little bit more, whether it's just getting a lunch or maybe going to the rec together. That's been something I'm super into recently, is just spending a little bit of time at the rec, be able to like be in my own mind, not focus on schoolwork and everything, and just like decompress a little bit.
I'm currently, I just got done going to the psychological services in the basement of the Haley Center. Like there you got like the Zen Den, which has a massage chair and a nap pod in case you just need to go for like a 20-30 minute nap. They could book it for you and you can just go ahead and have a quick nap. So that's how when I feel like really overwhelmed or tired, I just go there to just relieve a little bit of stress.
I go to Panera and I get food and then I study with my food.
I'm just trying to take it, gotta have that work-life balance. So I've been doing plenty of studying, but also doing stuff with my friends. I'm actually going today to go to Chihuahua, grill out some steaks from the Auburn Meat Lab, and then I'm gonna go just relax, have a good time. So it's all about just kind of keeping that work-study balance. So.
I try to make sure my students know what's going to be on their final and what assignments they need to have done before the day of the final. If they haven't already done that, I try to catch up with any students who are running behind on things just to make sure that, you know, we're all set up there. And I try to do that before Thanksgiving so that they have that week away to like get their stuff together and be around family when they're doing it. And then for the actual finals, I try to give them either study guides or prepared Kahoots or some kind of material to make it easy for them to know what to expect. Because when it comes to mental health, what we know is that uncertainty and anxiety about what we don't know is the biggest cause of that stress. And I want to do what I can to make sure our students come out knowing what they need to know from our classes, but without necessarily having to feel extra stressed out about it.
From Eagle Eye TV, I'm Bowman Ivester.
The week before Thanksgiving, the Circle was distributed to Auburn students on the concourse from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. The issue, which covers the fall 2024 semester, is free to all students and features the literary works and art of Auburn students. The Circle is Auburn's student-led literary and art magazine. Issues are released each year for the fall, spring, and summer semesters, and include work that ranges from poems to short stories. This year, the magazine has started its first series, which will connect the fall and spring editions through the theme of the hero's journey. The fall magazine is entitled The Departure, and according to the magazine's Instagram page, will, quote, focus specifically on the act of leaving what is comfortable and beginning to embark on this journey, end quote.
Another exciting element of Distribution Week is Snaps, which commemorates the issues released by allowing students whose work has been selected to share, read, and explain their work. This year's snaps took place on Monday, November 18th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the Melton Student Center ballroom and featured catering by local coffee shop Well Read Auburn. We spoke to staff member Emily Moore about why the circle is an important part of Auburn.
So I think it's really important for everyone on campus to have a voice and to be able to express themselves creatively, and being able to see everybody's creative expression through the magazine is just so inspiring, and it's a great way to build community.
On Thursday, November 21st, the top 5 candidates for Miss Auburn were announced as part of the Cater Callouts. Auburn students gathered around the lawn behind Cater Call, nervously awaiting the top 5 candidates for Miss Auburn. At the end of the night, the top candidates chosen would be Ellen Connell, Sophie Marino, Riley Parman, Vera Smith-T, and Kendall Anderson. Congratulations to these women on showing terrific examples of what being a true Auburn woman looks like. The new Miss Auburn candidate is expected to be announced at a later date next semester.
Jingle bells were ringing and dreidels were spinning on Sanford Lawn yesterday with UPC and Hillel's annual holiday lighting ceremony. The two organizations brought holiday cheer to campus with delicious treats and a festive program. Eagle Eye's Morgan Sims attended the event and tells us more.
December marks the lighting of the Christmas tree and menorah on Auburn University's Sanford Lawn, bringing the holiday spirit to the plains. This annual event is more than just a lighting ceremony, but a bonding experience for people of all backgrounds, including Auburn's mascot, Obby. A variety of Christmas staples were available, a notable addition being a hot cocoa bar, complete with marshmallows, cinnamon, and peppermint. To top off the festive atmosphere, the ceremony featured a medley of choral performances and other special guests. For Auburn resident Rachel Pickens, this is a family tradition.
We've been living in Auburn for 14 years now, and we have a daughter, and then I have a son as well. Last year I was pregnant, and so it was really fun to be able to celebrate this with her. He's coming in a little bit, so it'll be a fun time to celebrate together as a family and just enjoy the season, the beginning of the Advent season.
To make this event possible, Auburn University Program Council and Tiger Catering works their magic.
We've been out here since 1:30. We also went downtown Auburn to make sure we passed out and advertised for our event. So everything, tablecloths, tents, having all the food out here, and just Tiger Catering coming to help us out, and that was most of the preparation for it.
Romello Blackman, member of Auburn Singers, found happiness and community.
The most exciting part about this event was singing with my friends and just being with everybody in Auburn.
What I want people to take away from this event is honestly a feeling of being home, the Auburn tradition, Auburn family, and just having this fulfillment from being together with everyone. Because like I said, I never met you before you got here. A lot of them won't see everyone else here. But as today, I feel like we're all going to leave family. It's Christmas time and it's the Christmas spirit. So I hope everyone leaves with a smile on their face.
And for Eagle Eye TV, I'm Morgan Sims.
When we come back, you'll get a weather update from Eagle Eye's Albert Osorio and an Eye on the Hill update with Ben Bradfield. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Albert Osorio, and here's our weather outlook for this week on the plains. December is here, and we are happy to have ourselves bundled up for the cold weather. Starting in the first half of the week, there will be mostly sunny skies with highs up to 54 and lows down to 25. Following into the second half, there will likely be some showers on Thursday with a mix of sun and clouds the next couple days, with the highs up to 58 and the lows down to 29. This weekend we'll see some overcast skies with a slight chance of rain showers, and the temperatures will stay consistent going in. The sun is still looking to set around 4:30 p.m., keeping the holiday sky alive. That's all I have for the weather outlook of the week. When we come back, you'll hear from Ben Bradfield on his Eye on the Hill segment. Once again, I'm Albert Osorio, and you're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Hello and welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Ben Bradfield with Eye on the Hill, here to give you an update on all things politics. Florida Representative Matt Gaetz, previously nominated by President-elect Trump to take up the role of Attorney General in a second Trump administration, withdrew his name from consideration for the position on November 21st. The decision follows bipartisan criticism after reports that Gaetz had taken advantage of a minor. Gaetz has also stated that he would not seek re-election in the House. Trump announced a new Attorney General appointment the following day, selecting former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi for the role. It is important to note that this position requires Senate confirmation. Other appointments by Trump include replacing 7-year FBI Director Christopher Wray with attorney Kash Patel. He has also nominated Charles Kushner, Jared Kushner's father, who has pled guilty to counts of tax evasion, to become the U.S. ambassador to France. As for more local news, the Huntsville Library is set to ban various animated Disney films, such as Frozen, Coco, and Moana, to the young adult section following new state requirements. Also, a new Alabama state bill introduced by Representative Ontario Tillman seeks to make Election Day a state holiday. That's all for Eye on the Hill. When we come back, you'll get a national news update from Jillian and Lucas. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6.
President Joe Biden has given his son a, quote, full and unconditional pardon, end quote. Hunter Biden has faced up to 42 years in prison for gun and tax crimes. Now, he's likely to remain free, as Amy Keeley reports.
Joe Biden's pardon here of his son, in all likelihood, to a virtual certainty, did spare Hunter Biden from having to go to prison.
Hunter Biden is vowing to help others struggling with addiction after receiving a full pardon from his father. President Joe Biden says he changed his mind about clemency for his son because he thinks politics has caused a miscarriage of justice.
We'll never know definitively whether Hunter Biden was given lenient treatment or harsher treatment because of his name, but I can tell you based on my experience, he was certainly given different treatment than an ordinary person.
Hunter Biden is convicted of possessing a firearm while addicted to or using illegal drugs and has pleaded guilty to tax crimes related to money he has since repaid. In total, the charges against him carry a maximum sentence of 42 years in prison.
I think what happened in this case is the pendulum sort of swung from one extreme to the other, and you ended up with an outcome that the president felt necessary to issue a pardon on.
Republicans are blasting the pardon. It's unlikely to go over well with Democrats either. But analysts say the president's overriding motivation wasn't political.
What you're talking about here is, Biden taking a step that is going to be very controversial, even with his own party, to protect his son.
As a father, it was probably pretty difficult not to proceed.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
President-elect Donald Trump is warning the BRICS not to create a new currency to rival the U.S. dollar. The countries comprising the BRICS include Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. 5 other nations joined this year, including Iran, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Ethiopia. Trump says if the BRICS nations move away from the dollar, the countries will face 100% tariffs during his administration. The statement came after Brazil's president proposed creating a common currency among BRICS nations over concern that the U.S. dollar could fluctuate.
Putin's patience is running thin. The Russian president's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, has made it clear Russia will not put up with the damaging long-range missile attacks from Ukraine much longer. Putin has already put the U.S. on a nuclear notice, as Russia is seeing momentum on the battlefield against Ukraine. Fred Pleitgen has more from Moscow.
Vladimir Putin's army advancing on nearly all front lines. Inside Ukraine, but also as they try to expel Kiev's troops from the Kursk region in Russia. We fought for this area for almost 3 months, this Russian Marine says. Thanks to the assault groups of the 810th Brigade, we knocked out these Ukrainian servicemen. Moscow emboldened, now flat out telling the Biden administration, face it, you lost.
Думаю, что все это должен
The West should hear all this, rethink it, come to their senses and admit they lost. They failed to achieve the goals of containing Russia's development. They were unable to defeat Russia geopolitically, the Speaker of Russia's Senate says. Moscow's still fuming after the White House gave Kyiv the go-ahead to use U.S.-supplied longer-distance weapons to strike targets deep inside Russia. We understand the reaction of the embittered, frustrated Washington regime under the leadership of Biden, which lost the election, which did not receive support for its domestic and foreign policies from its own citizens, she says. We must understand that in agony they are capable of continuing to take the most reckless steps. The Russians claim they are not the ones escalating, even after striking Ukraine with a new hypersonic multiple warhead ballistic missile, and now publishing these graphics saying that missile could also carry a 900-kiloton nuclear warhead and reach NATO bases in Europe in a few minutes. On Red Square, people telling us they want de-escalation but support their leadership.
We need to defend ourselves, because if America and Europe and other countries will give Ukraine all of the weapons and all of the resources they have, how can we live there?
Of course, it's a dangerous time, this man says. You know, I won't display a second cheek if I was already slapped on the other. You have to fight for your righteousness and kindness. Tonight, Putin arriving in Kazakhstan for a two-day visit, also including a major security conference. Greeted with full military honors as countries in the region increasingly see Russia growing more influential on the road to a possible victory in Ukraine. For Plotkin, CNN, Moscow.
Millions of Americans faced dangerously cold temperatures and heavy snow this past weekend. All of this wicked winter weather coming on the heels of Thanksgiving holiday. Jen Sullivan has details on what travelers can expect on the roads and in the skies.
A massive winter storm impacting millions of Americans. In Buffalo, some areas could see close to 6 feet of snow by Monday. Multiple counties in upstate New York now under a state of emergency.
It's going to be a shock to the system because it's the first major snow of the season.
A similar sight in Erie, Pennsylvania, where people are digging out of the snow.
Yesterday I shoveled for 4 hours. Wow. And now I've been out here for about an hour.
The storm causing treacherous conditions on the roads, just as millions of Americans head home for the Thanksgiving holiday.
It's the worst I've ever seen.
Some areas of Pennsylvania could see up to 4 feet of snow by Monday night, according to the National Weather Service.
Winter coming in with a bang. Yeah, definitely a big change from what we've been seeing.
Arctic air coming down from Canada is forcing temperatures to tumble across half the country. The bitter cold is triggering lake-effect snow around the Great Lakes region. Even south of the Ohio River Valley, many states under winter alerts, impacting roughly 10 million people. All of this coming during the busiest week of the year for travel. Many airports already packed with people.
A lot of people was flying out and flying in, so yeah, it was pretty congested.
Officials warning drivers to stay indoors if they don't have to travel. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
When we return, you'll get an Auburn sports update with Sophia Weber. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Sophia Weber, back to give you a recap on all of the big stories that occurred in Auburn sports last week, right here on the Plains. Let's get right into it. Let's kick it off on the gridiron, where Auburn football delivered a dramatic senior night performance in a 4-overtime thriller against number 15, Texas A&M. The Tigers pulled out a 43-41 win in front of a sold-out Jordan-Hare Stadium. After both teams failed to convert on 2-point conversions in the third overtime, it was Auburn who struck first in the fourth, with QB Peyton Thorne connecting with Keandre Lambert-Smith for the game-winning touchdown. In his final home game, running back Hunter rushed for 130 yards on 28 carries and added 23 receiving yards. This set the Tigers up for the Iron Bowl. Their defensive efforts never quit, forcing 4 turnovers. However, Alabama got the win 28-14 at Bryant-Denny Stadium. The Tigers' inability to convert on third downs and score in the red zone is what led them to end their season with a 5-7 record. Moving on to the hardwood, where Auburn men's basketball is making history this past week as the Tigers won the Maui Invitational title for the first time ever. Auburn joined Vanderbilt and Kentucky as the only SEC programs to claim the coveted title. It was a dramatic come-from-behind win against number 5 Iowa State, that got the Tigers on a roll, thanks to Broom's tip-in with just 1 second remaining, giving the Tigers an 83-81 victory and their second top 5 win this season. Auburn also won big against number 12 North Carolina, handing them an 85-72 loss on Tuesday, and then the Tigers were able to defeat Memphis 90-76 in the championship on Wednesday. Let's head over to women's basketball, where the Lady Tigers have been battling hard on the road. After a tough 2-point loss to Oregon and a 4-point defeat against California, Auburn finally found some magic in the Virgin Islands. In a nail-biting finish against Northern Iowa, Deanna Gaston knocked down a game-winning three-pointer with just 1.6 seconds remaining to secure a 65-64 win. Auburn also dominated Pitt with a strong 51% shooting performance. On the pitch, Auburn's soccer season comes to a close in a dramatic fashion against number 10, Ohio State, in the second round of the NCAA tournament. After falling behind 2-0 in the first half, the Lady Tigers fought back, with sophomore Olivia Woodson scoring in the 85th minute. Unfortunately, the Tigers couldn't complete the comeback, falling 2-1. It was a strong season for Auburn soccer, and they'll look to build on this next year. Shifting to cross country, where Auburn had a strong presence at the NCAA Cross Country Championships. Senior Ryan Cannon and freshmen Nixon Chebby and Brenda Jepchicher represented the Tigers in Wisconsin. Jepchicher finished 21st overall in the women's 6K with a time of 19 minutes and 51 seconds. On the men's side, Chebby finished 66th with a collegiate best 10K time of 29 minutes and 39 seconds. Cannon, in his final year, was named SEC Men's Scholar Athlete of the Year for the third time and finished strong in the top 100. It's been a tough stretch for Auburn volleyball, who fell to number 20 Florida in 4 sets. Madison Shear led the charge with 18 kills, but it wasn't enough as Auburn dropped the match 3-1. They also battled Oklahoma hard, but in the end, Auburn couldn't handle Oklahoma's offense and lost another 4-setter. On Saturday, the team traveled to the home state of Madison Shear and Sydney Handel in Missouri. Unfortunately, their season ended with a loss to the 24th-ranked Missouri Tigers in 3 straight sets. Coach Crouch reflected on the year saying, quote, "The SEC is the best that it's ever been. That's a good thing for our league and ultimately a good thing for us going forward," end quote. And finally, in equestrian, the number 1 Auburn equestrian team came up just short against number 6 Georgia, falling 11-9 in a hard-fought competition at the UGA Equestrian Center. Auburn will take a break over the holiday season and return in February to face Minnesota Crookston and UT Martin. And that is all I have for you tonight. When we come back, you'll get a business and consumer update from Jillian and Lucas. I'm Sophia Weber for Eagle Eye Sports, and you're watching Eagle Eye News at 6. We'll be right back.
Tens of thousands of Volkswagen workers are set to strike on Monday. Union leaders in Germany say workers are at a number of plants across the country are participating. It's considered to be the largest strike in the company's domestic operations since 2018. The walkouts follow tense talks over pay cuts and possible plant closures.
Volkswagen leaders insist the company wants constructive dialogue and bargaining, but that it will take measures to keep operations running during the strike. The next round of negotiations is set for December 9th. Elon Musk's social media platform X is getting in the middle of the bankruptcy sale of InfoWars. It's believed the intervention represents the first time a social media platform has stepped into a legal dispute over account ownership. Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones' Free Speech System is the parent company of InfoWars. Free Speech Systems was recently auctioned off to help pay off part of a huge debt. Jones owes nearly $1.5 billion to the families of Sandy Hook massacre victims after he was found guilty of defamation.
Satirical news site The Onion was declared the winner of the auction, along with the backing of some of the families. It was a 7-figure bid that Jones and his allies are challenging in court. The sale includes InfoWars website studio equipment and an online dietary supplement store. It also includes the site's social media accounts, followed by millions of users. In past legal disputes over account ownership, social media companies have left it to the courts and parties involved to work it out. But in this case, X is stepping in to object to Jones's and InfoWars' X accounts being part of the sale. Jones recently praised Musk as a hero for intervening in his case. A major shakeup in the auto industry, Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares announced on Sunday he is resigning. Tavares has been under fire for months over the company's disappointing sales and disagreements he had with the company's board of directors. The United Auto Workers also called for Tavares to be ousted from the company. Stellantis makes Chrysler, Jeep, Fiat, and Peugeot, among other brands. An interim executive committee will run this company while Stellantis looks for a new CEO. That search is expected to be completed by the middle of next year.
We're out of time, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Jillian Byers.
And I'm Lucas Hazelrig. Thank you for watching, and War Eagle.